guys, Conceptual Concept 6.9 here. As you know, I love my AKs. I've got a Bulgarian Arsenal that's been my main squeeze for quite a while. Recently, I just invested in a Palmetto GF5 AK. I wanted to see if this would be a good alternative for... So let's take it for a spin. All right, let's see how we did. This is with iron sights. We got 3 alphas, one's just on the line. 3 alphas, dead center, and 3 alphas again. That time was 448. $182. So now let's do the Mozambique. All right, so 158. Now these are iron sights, and that A zone is just barely, it's like nudging that line on the head. All right, so now let's do 3 headshots at low ready. Just see how it goes. 1 on each target here. Let's see how we did. A, and A. Not very well versed on iron sights, but I will tell you, this thing seems to perform. The recoil impulse is really low. Very handy gun. Hey there, so I ordered this guy a few weeks ago, and I ordered it as a builder's kit. So it came without the trigger pins, the grip nut, and the furniture. Came in at $700 before that. Luckily, I had all these parts in a junk bin in my garage, so I was able to fill that out. However, you would be able to add all these parts for roughly between 150 200 bucks. So you come out with a FN hammer forged barreled AK for around 900 bucks, which is a killer deal. Yeah, so definitely a good way to get into it, and let's see how it does and how it's built. Let's get some close-ups here. So one thing you see is the back of the receiver. They do a removable tang. One of the really cool parts about this removable tang is you can get a Picatinny back rail or a buffer tube, and it's very modular. The downside I found was the fitment wasn't quite right. So you can see right here, there's a little play in this stock. I actually shimmed it with some electrical tape. It looks like I might need to do a little better job, but it has a little play with these surplus stocks, so definitely something to keep in mind there. Past that, as you can see, the rivets are actually incredibly well done. They're actually better than my Arsenal. So the Bulgaria Arsenal factory is not riveting quite as clean as this. Past that, I installed my own trigger. I have a KUSA trigger, but Palmetto sells enhanced AK triggers with the pins and the retainer plate. I believe it's like 40 bucks, which is a steal. I'm running just all the retro furniture. Real AKs have dongs, and real dongs have curves, but I was building this out to be kind of a retro rifle. I already have my modern AK. I wanted something to represent like the 1960s eras. Other than that, the finish has been okay. I am getting some flaking. You can actually see some on my thumb here. Some flaking of the finish, which is pretty standard. Most of these guns are parkerized and then just a black paint over them, and I think they did that as well. But yeah, seems to be pretty well built. Nothing's super crummy. Everything, no machine lines. Everything looks really clean. The front sight base was straight out of the box. I was hitting pretty spot on. Maybe a little bit high, but at like 20 yards, it really didn't make a difference. But great shooting gun. So we're going to cut into a little more footage. We're going to do the accuracy portion and then get into my overall thoughts, whether this is actually a viable rifle, okay? So far, accuracy testing seems to be going promising. I zeroed. I only used 3-round groups to zero because I'm not made of money and I don't want to fire 5 rounds just to adjust my turrets. So the 3-round groups look promising. As you can see, we're floating, this is at roughly 45-50 yards. We are floating right between 2.5 and 3 MOA. All right, so now we're doing the accuracy portion. First, we're gonna group both of these rifles. One group with Tula on both, one group with Bartonol, which I found has been the most consistent in my experience, and one group with Hornady Black because we've got an American AK, it's blasphemous, so let's use some American ammo, all right? Let's get to it. All right, so we're gonna start with the Tula ammo, see how it does. All right, now we're moving on to Bartonol ammo. This has been the most consistent in most of my AKs, so let's see how it does. All right, so lastly, we're doing Hornady Black, American ammo, and an American AK. Kind of hate myself for this. Can even smell the powder difference. It smells like less children starved making this. Alright, that's it for the GF5. Alright, so now we're going to switch to my Alpha AK. Identical optic, identical ammo. We'll see how the Bulgies do. And this is Tula, by the way. I probably should have mentioned that. God, this thing kicks so much less. And the Palmetto doesn't kick. Alright, now Bartonol. This has been the most consistent across the board for me. But it's made in Russia, so you can't really get much of it anymore. Bartonol's done. Hopefully. Now, lastly, some Hornady Black. Last time I shot that in this gun, it performed awfully. So we'll see how it does this time. So one thing to keep in mind is I had identical optics, identical ammo, and identical condition shooting these groups. Now, I did only fire one group per ammo between the guns. So the Palmetto had a fairly disappointing group at 5.5 MOA. However, the 80% group was closer to 3 MOA, so that's fairly acceptable. Might have thrown it. I was shooting fairly fast. Past that, the Arsenal grouped a little better on both the 80% and the 100% group. It grouped 4 MOA with the 100% and about 3 MOA with the 80%. So I'm perfectly happy with that. So the next one is kind of a surprise to me. Barnaul's been one of the more consistent ammos in my experience, but this one did not show quite as good of results. The Palmetto grouped about 4 MOA 5-shot group, and the Arsenal grouped about a 4.5 MOA 5-shot group. Now they both, with their 80% groups, grouped between 3 and 3.5 MOA, which is acceptable by AK standards. So I would take that and probably bet it's my poor shooting. So next up is Hornady Black. I'm really surprised at how well this did because my experience with it has been less than stellar. It was the best performing round between both rifles, with Palmetto printing 3.5 MOA with a 3 MOA 80% group, and Arsenal printing a 3.25 MOA group with a 2.5 MOA 80%. So definitely the best out of the bunch. So my overall thoughts are it's a pretty damn well-built AK. The FN barrel is definitely desirable. It's shot incredibly well. You'll see the footage there. One benefit of your employees not being super drunk on vodka by like 10 in the morning is they know how to drill holes well. So the gas port on this is actually fantastic. It's a very light recoiling for an AK. So they definitely use the smaller drill bit, which is fantastic. Been really smooth. I've really liked how it shot. I'm kind of like hating myself for deciding to do a retro build out of this because I feel like it's not really grasping the full potential, but I already have something that can do that. So this guy ends up fitting that niche well. And if I need to upgrade it down the road, I think this is a battle-proven gun. Well, not battle-proven, but it's a fairly well-proven gun. JMac did an excellent video, a 5K round torture test on one of these guys, just showing how well it holds up. And as well as AK Operators Union did that as well. So I'm not gonna get into that. I'm too poor. I don't make money off of these videos. It's just kind of a pastime. So overall thoughts are, if you're in America and you can't get the surplus or the foreign built AKs, this is definitely the one to get. I probably wouldn't get a just because they do like to metal inject mold their parts, and those parts do like to break. So maybe steer clear of those. Just get a Palmetto. Everything's forged. The front trunnion, the bolt, the barrel, everything that needs to be forged is. So this should hold up incredibly well as you shoot it. That's about all I have for you guys today. Don't forget to go outside, touch grass, and eat ass, all right?